So our next storyteller, Bridget O'Neill.
So, I was in art school in San Francisco, and there was a job board, and there was a posting, and it was for a dog walker for this woman that lived across the street from our school. This this house that she lived in is like 5 stories tall. It's beautiful. It's huge, and she's on the board of the SF MoMA. And I said, okay, this is a good way to pay my dues, and I'm going to be her dog walker. And one day she'll be so enamored with me, and she'll buy one of my pieces. And so I went to the interview, and there I was, and her assistant walked me to the room where Mrs. Bose was sitting, waiting for me. And I walked in, there was like all these amazing pieces of art. Andy Warhol, Cy Twombly, the list goes on. It was like it was like in like dreamland for me. So I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be perfect. So anyway, I sit there, and we sit down, we start talking, just like idle chit chat, not anything important. And as I'm talking, I'm like really nervous. So if I'm really nervous, I talk like really fast. I'm like going a mile a minute. And I just moved to San Francisco, and so I'm just blah 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 talking. And Mrs. Bose interrupts me, and she says, "You're not from around here. That accent. Where are you from, darling?" And I said, "Philadelphia." And she says, "Oh, not much going on there." And I couldn't agree with her more, but I was pissed, and only I can make fun of Philadelphia. And I said, "Well, yeah, that's kind of why I moved here." And so we didn't start off on a good foot. So I could already tell what she thought of me, and it wasn't very highly. I could just tell. Her accent was just, and it really was like that. She's like, "Oh, and I was like, what is that accent?" And it was kind of like I found out she's from Connecticut, and that's how I picture people from Connecticut anyway. And she has like the accent was very much like Thurston Howell III, mixed with something else. I don't know. Oh, it was mixed with this. Okay, I remember this. It reminded me of Harold and Maude, but Harold's mother. And that's what it sounded like, but she did not look like that. She's about 65, just older, very thin, very bitter. So anyway, she says to me, "Okay, so my assistant, Brenda, she told you what the job entails?" And I said, yeah. Whatever accent I had at that point. And I said, yeah. She told me. And she says, she says, "Okay, so me and my husband, on Tuesdays, nothing fancy, we like fish. Just make sure that it's fresh." And I say, "Oh, fuck. I can't even cook a hot dog." And I'm like, "Fancy fish, fresh. Okay." So anyway, I'm thinking, oh my God, she thinks that I'm supposed to be the chef, but I'm not. But I need the money really bad, and so I just go, fuck it, I'm just gonna wing it. And in my head, I'm thinking of like, where do you get fish? And I don't know. And so I'm just like, okay, fish. Like, so all of this is going on in my head, and I'm just like sweating, and I'm just like, oh fuck, okay, so I gotta wing this whole chef shit, and I'm gonna just be fired. So as I'm like sweating, the assistant corrects her and says, "Mrs. Bose, no, Bridget is here for the dog walking position." She's like, "Oh, right then." So she excuses me. The assistant leads me to the door, and Mrs. Boods bids me adieu. And so the next day I come back, and it's my first day, and I walk in, and I'm somehow in the kitchen. I land there. I don't know. It's a big place. So I'm in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh, Brenda, I'm bringing down the dogs." And I'm like, where is she? And my name's not fucking Brenda, but it starts with a B and an R, so whatever. So I'm looking around, I don't see her, but then I find out that she's on an intercom, and there's surveillance cameras everywhere, so she could be fucking anywhere. So I'm like bringing down the dogs, and I'm looking around, and I look at the chef, and the chef kind of points to this door with a window, and I'm like, okay, so I'm standing in front of this door with the leashes. It's not a door, it's an elevator. So it's a door to an elevator. And Odwalla and Toby, the dogs, California. And so the dogs are coming down, and it kind of looked like this, like dogs coming down in the elevator, and she's like, and they're coming down with the wine. I said, dogs are coming down with the wine. And so I open the elevator door, and there's the doggies, and there's a case of wine. I'm like, I really don't know what I'm doing with this, but... So I got the leashes, and again, I look at the chef, and she's like, oh, the wine is for me. There's a big party going on tonight, so she sent them down with the dogs. Okay, so anyway, I take the dogs out for a walk, and basically every day was really different and really degrading. And I never know what my role was, but it was just whatever it was that day, outside of dog walking. These two dogs that were like half dead, so I was like really dragging them. It should have been like dog dragging, but that's what I did. And it took me all of like 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, fucking put them in the house and just get my money. So anyway, so I had all these like weird roles, and they went from everything from I was a server, and she had like a bell, ding 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 ding, at dinner. Like she actually had a bell, like Gone with the Wind or something. I was the butler, but all this weird shit. And one of the worst jobs is I came, and I was getting really sick of it, but I was actually very entertained. I always have like, this is material for a story. This is great. So one day I came in, I was kind of annoyed with her, and she had this one thing. Brittany, when you leave at the end of the night with the intercom, like Charlie's Angels or so fucking, she was like this weird entity that was like never there, but somehow there, and I always felt very watched. And so anyway, she had this whole thing, and she's like, put the 2 glasses of water on side the bedside tables of me and my husband. I still can't believe she was married, but so I'd put the glasses in, and I couldn't have more than 2 cubes or less than 2 cubes. So I put them on the table, and I left that night. I get a call one night. It goes a little something like this. And it's on my voicemail when I get home that night after delivering the waters. And I get home, and it says, yes, Brenda, Mrs. Bowes. Yes, tomorrow when you come back in, I'm going to need you to return my diamond earrings. The ones that were on the bedside table. Okay, bye-bye. I was like, all right. I walk your dogs, and I do a lot of crazy shit. But one thing, I'm not going to be accused of stealing your shit. Plus, as an art student, I'm not going to wear diamond earrings. It just doesn't go well. So anyway, I was pissed. So I came in, and I was like, no more intercom shit. I'm going to go to her face and say, Mrs. Bowes, I did not take your earrings. That just did not happen. But she caught me off guard, and I walked in the intercom, I think she actually said my name this time, Bridget, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Mrs. Bowes, I did not take your earrings. Okay, never mind that, Brenda. There's a couple of pairs of underwear in the dryer. I'm going to need you to take them out. And again, I still haven't seen her since the day in the interview. I'm going to need you to take them out. When you take them out, I need you to take it. There's a thing of lavender leaves. You put them back in the dryer. You put my underwear back in the dryer, and you put it on a low cycle. At that point, I was so pissed at being accused, and then there was no apology. It was just written off. And then washing or drying her nasty ass, haggard, old, skinny ass bitch, nasty underwear was not going to happen. So I just said to myself, I'm going to leave. So I removed myself, walked out the door, never to return again. And I just said, I'm not going to look back except for the time when I was in class and I could see her house. Thank you.